Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, part 2 of it. This is part 2 of Jeri Can't Stop Talking because she's had too much caffeine today. No, I'm kidding. I've been not, it makes you want to laugh or you're gonna cry. Anyway, so I'm on this cup of coffee I finished right when Jimmy woke up. I had my first one yesterday afternoon. He made the second cup. It stayed warm all night. This is Ray Dunn, and I don't know who makes she makes the design, but I don't know who makes her mug. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean? This is obviously a Ray Dunn print on some, like, Yeti type cup. And I know it's not a Yeti cup, but I think you all know what I'm saying. I hope you know what I'm saying, because I sometimes don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, but it kept the coffee warm all night. And I finished it 20 minutes before Jim woke up at 8:30. So by 8 o'clock this morning, I finished it. And I said to him, look, I would say, yes, this is a gross cup because it's been since yesterday, but it's still got fresh coffee and it keep going. So I said, just add it to the coffee. Add it to this cup. It's fine. Don't make a new one dirty. So what is your statute of limitations when it comes to stuff like that? Would you automatically say, oh, I'm not going to drink that because that has been... that first got food incorporated into it at 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and now it's 2 o'clock this afternoon. Like, what would be your statute of limitations on something like that? Or are you on my team? I don't mean that doesn't make sense, but are you on the same train thought of do you have the same thought process as me where it comes to it has continuously had food in it? So it's just can continuously use food. Like, does that... I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. So, really funny, about yesterday, too, was we had a family meeting about the RVing and doing 1 night, 2 night, caravanning, setting up mom, like a little bed in her car, and she can follow us. And like I mentioned, when she's doing that, it's easier for her to learn to go someplace. I don't know if she's ever driven to the Lake of the Ozarks before, but that was one of the places I said, we've only been to Lake Ozark Lake, or Lake of the Ozarks in January 2nd. Like, we only went there on January 1st. We only went there on New Year's Day 1 year. And it's a summer resort place, so a lot of things were closed. Like, a lot of restaurants were closed and attractions. And I said to her, it's always packed years, and months and months. People pay lots of money to stay there because it's on the lake or whatever. But I said, if we did this and we glamped in our cars, we caravaned in our caravans. I said, we could research places to park, whether it's campgrounds that usually are very expensive, or if we could actually just stay at the Walmart. You have to talk to the Walmart person, but I don't know what the rules are there at Lake of the Ozarks or whatever. But let's try this, and we'll just try it overnight. What I said to her yesterday was, I was like, if we try it, we're not going to invest tons of money. We actually have bedding that she could use and bedding that we can use. And I said, what I would like to try to do is we'll pack 2 days worth of clothes and we'll plan to come home the next day. And if it's, 2 options, I was like, if it was, last night wasn't bad sleeping in the car, let's try it again. The second thing is even if it wasn't great sleeping in the car, but it was too tiring to drive. It's only an hour and a half, but maybe the trip was too tiring or too taxing on mom's body, and she needs to not drive another hour and a half the next day, and she wants a day between to break. And I told her, and she goes, well, the good thing too is it's Lake of the Ozarks. There's tons of hotels. And I was like, yeah, we're not planning on going on a weekend when it usually fills up crazy. It's like we're talking about going on a Tuesday or some random day. So, and this isn't for a while anyway, obviously. I told you guys, it's not going to be till after my birthday, because even if I still have my back brace on, I definitely need to be able to ambulate properly. So if I have permission to start walking again on my birthday, then we're not going to go fan camping. So she said, well, are you putting the cart before the horse with buying stuff? And I said, well, Mom, honestly, we're not buying any much. You know, I said, I showed her the stuff we got from the Dollar Tree from the DIY window covers. I said, but most everything we have. You know, Jim and I had camping equipment before the flood. And some camping equipment we replaced when we moved here. But some, I mean, just things we have. And that's the whole part. The whole greater part about van conversions is you're not supposed to have to invest tons of money. Now, people want to live out of theirs, and they build kitchens in the back. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about weekend warriors. I already have a hibachi grill. You know, I have the little kind that you get at CVS for $20 with the little green cans of propane. Sometimes they're cheaper. Sometimes they're more expensive. I don't know. I've had mine for a long time, so I have no idea how much they are now. But I know that I can do everything on the hibachi grill. I can put a pot of beans on there. I like cook macaroni and cheese on the hibachi grill because it's an open flame over a griddle. You know, I could put the cast iron skillet on the hibachi grill. This is things that I'm aware I can already do. And these are things that I already have. Oh yeah, I might have to buy 2 1-gallon cans of propane, but that's the same whether I have to take the hibachi grill to the park and barbecue or if I'm going to glamp. I also said to Mom, I'm like, the first night or the two nights we go, we can look at it and we can budget it for that to be our night out to eat for the month. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, you know how we eat out once a week? I was like, if we don't eat out like 2 weeks in a row, and we don't always eat out. A lot of times we do take, order in or whatever, just to have a treat and to have give Jimmy or the cook a rest, because sometimes it was me and I was the cook. And mom likes to eat out food. She does. She loves like the food where someone else cooks for you, and she doesn't have to do the dishes. But anyway, so I said, the first time we try this, we don't have to even worry about bringing the hibachi grill, because we can say ahead of time, these will be our 2 nights out to eat. And we can pack the cooler with sandwiches and breakfasts. Mom eats cheese danishes. They don't have to go into a refrigerator. We can make sandwiches. We can make peanut butter and jelly, and they don't have to be refrigerated. But we can also make cold cuts and just pack the cooler like we would on a road trip, Make hard-boiled eggs or whatever. So I said, we don't have to worry about how we're going to cook. Because she was saying, oh, we can find a grocery store there. We won't have to bring stuff. And I was like, well, we don't have to do that. Like, if we're talking, like I said, if we stay for 2 days and we don't eat out for like 2 weeks, we can eat out both those nights for dinner. And then we can just have our quick breakfasts, whatever we have. Jim and I have a 110 converter for the 12 volt. We use it while our van is running for all of the 10 minutes that we use whatever appliance we're using. And we've taken our Keurig and we've made coffee in the car before in the Keurig. Like, I know it sounds crazy. People have all these contraptions. People have so many different contraptions. And we have a big Keurig that draws more ampage than a small one would. But, I don't care. This is what we own, so I don't have to buy anything. And I would take the Keurig. And the Keurig is great for not just coffee. You can make oatmeal. You can make those. If you watched the Dollar Tree haul yesterday, Jimmy bought like those macaroni and cheeses that you pour hot water into. You can use hot water to sanitize stuff if, God forbid, that was a thing. It's not even just the Keurig. As long as the car is running, you can draw all day on that wattage. That battery is rechargeable. So we have cigarette lighters. Well, we call them cigarette lighters, but we have 12 volt outlets. We have 2 in the front. One of them draws constantly. The other one only draws when the car's running. So we literally can just plug that in, and when the car's off, it won't draw the power because it literally shuts itself off. The charger, the 12 volt intake adapter plug doesn't draw power when the car's off. Okay. Anyway, so we were like looking, and then we have, if you guys have been on my channel a long time, I was offered 2 USB rechargeable fans to review. I had both of them for a long time. We ended up giving the big one to Lisa. And we still have the little one, and I used it. You guys know I took it to Texas. When I was babysitting Luna, I used it every night on me because the living room was a little bit warmer than the upstairs. No, the upstairs was warmer than the living room. Oh, where I was sleeping in the living room didn't get, I wasn't by an air conditioning vent. So I was kind of warm there at the bed. And every day we would go walking, I would put it on, Luna had one of her own that she would want on her. Well, she wouldn't want it. He didn't say, please put this on her. Of course. It's Texas. It's August. I gotcha. But I ended up putting both of them on her. And I would take us for walks, and I would call her fangirls, and I'd be like, look, the fangirls are going walking. And anyway. But I was like, Jimmy and I were looking. He's like, I found a fan light. We put it in our RV, the RV, we have an RV wish list, but it's not a wish list, it's a shopping list. We have an RV shopping list on Amazon. So if we have an extra $12, we can pick up these, what do we have that we couldn't make? Oh, like that. Duh, I was literally just telling you about this. So he found a camp fan light. It takes 2D batteries, and it runs for X number of hours on 2D batteries. It's literally to go on a tent. It's got the hook on it, so it goes in the middle of the tent pole. And he's like, this is great. It was $12. He's like, D batteries, we have tons of them, but if we have to buy them, they last a really long time. And then we were talking about it, and I was like, oh, it's in the shopping cart. And then he got paid today, and we did the bills, and we were like, okay, we do have extra money, but with everything that's happening, let's see what unemployment says, blah, 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 whatever. So we were initially saying, oh, we have money left over after paying bills. Let's see what we can do. And then I was looking at this fan because it was kind of like one of the cheapest things in the shopping cart, and it would feel good that we were taking one more step forward. And I looked over. I want to show you. This is where I sit. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can't do this. So I am laying. I don't want to turn you off on accident because if I press that button. So I am laying here, and I'm looking at this, right? I don't know what you can see. But do you see that white light? I don't know what you can see. You know what? I'm going to turn you around. This is me, and this is what I see. So this is just turned around. So, do you see that white light? Do you see that black fan? That's the fan. That's USB rechargeable that runs for 12 hours on the charge minimum. Also, it has a charging port in it. So if we were running it on the 12 volts, we can actually charge through it. Like I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is, if we only had one USB charger in our car, say, or we only had one port available, we could charge the fan, and then through the fan, we could charge our phones. But literally, I'm sitting here and we're talking about this fan. I'm like, Jim, I know the brain fog is real, but we have this already. So, what the hey, Jim? I was like, okay, let me put you back in the clip without turning you off. Again. So I was like, and then I started to really inventory my house. I was looking at the shopping list clearly because he put stuff in without my knowledge. Not without my knowledge, but he thought stuff we could use that he didn't think, he thought of and I didn't think of, and we would talk about it later. So it's not like we just were buying everything off the shopping list. So I was going through the shopping list and I was like, yeah, I don't think I need that. I think we have something that we can use instead of that in the future, even if we have an RV and even if we become permanent van livers. I did want to address, somebody had a question, and I answered them in the comments, but I'll address it here in case anybody else has this question. Somebody had suggested, before I plan on sleeping in the van or doing this van trip, why don't I try seeing if Jim and I can fit in the back of the van before we do any major purchases or changes? And I said basically as an answer, and I said, well, I already have. And Jim hasn't, but I have. And what I mean by that is, if you guys remember, last year, I couldn't climb in the car. I had to lay in the back of the van. That is how I knew, and I was telling Mom too, that is how I knew that the combination of feather bed and comforters, the comforter, I had an extra comforter folded in half, so we would use 2 comforters. And this feather bed that we had, which is basically like a pillow, I say feather bed, but it's like a pillow topper, and it's supposed to simulate goose down. Kind of feels like goose down. And we have one that we had when our when our bedroom was the queen, and then when the guest bedroom was the queen, we got this, we had this there. And then when we got rid of the queen, we gave away the queen mattress because we moved our old king into the guest room so the guests can have more space. What is that? Oh, that's just a shadow. I thought I had a black and blue. Sorry. It's bad, the caffeine. I'm kidding. We kept that thing. And actually, we weren't even intending on keeping it. It was in the back of the van to go to Goodwill with the comforter. And then we talked. I called, texted Emily, and I texted Eden, and I was like, does anybody want this comforter, this thing? And they were like, no, it's okay. So it was in the back of the van to donate. And then I hurt myself. And we ended up, I was like, did we give away that thing? And he's like, no. And I was like, oh, that's great. No, that's why we had the comforter, Jerry. We had the feather bed because we were keeping it for the click-clack sofa. I said, let's keep it for the click, because they're kind of expensive. I think the queen size one was like $60 and the king size one was like $90. Not as expensive as like real mattresses that go camping, but for us. Anyway, and I said to Mom, I was like, we have a king size one on the guest room bed that we can take in our van, and then we have a queen size one that you can take in your car. So we don't even have to buy anything. Like, we have stuff. There was a Amazon deal for every once in a while. That lady, Alexa, will say, there's a deal in your shopping cart. Now, today I got a deal in my shopping cart. An item I had on my shopping cart wish list. Actually, I do like save for later. An item that I had on my shopping cart is on sale. It was $9.15, and now it's $9.06. I said, Jim, we should jump on that deal before it goes away. I was like, seriously? They want to say, like, you're going to save 9 cents, run to fix this thing. So if you do like Amazon and you shop a lot on Amazon, don't just jump because they said it's a sale. Look at the sale first. But that being said, I told you guys about Dave and Sissy. Every day they've got great deals that they send us Amazon codes. And some days we just buy it. Like, I found a $20 camping knife, and I actually was surprising my husband with it. I found a $20 camping knife for $7. And he got it yesterday, and he loves it. Loves it. And it's for our camping. It's for camping. It's got, like, the seatbelt cutter on the back and the, like, sauce thing or whatever. I think it's got a saw thing. I don't know. I really don't remember. It's for Jim. So. But anyway, so he loves it, and it was like $7. And I was like, we have tactical camping knives in our shopping cart on the RV thing, and I'm like, they're not $7, especially when that's valued at $20, and the fact that it's like, what was that, 60% off or something, I think. So every once in a while, something will pop up that will say, should we put this in our budget? Can't we work this into our budget until, like, when's payday or whatever? Or, do we take money out of our savings and put it in our budget to get this item because it's on super sale? One of the items that we had on our wish list that went on super sale was a queen size. No, I think it's just called a sleeping bed for 2, but I thought it was queen size. And it kind of has, like, built-in pillows. And Jimmy and I were talking about, remember how I said, like, when I was by myself, I had the feather bed with the comforter folded in half. So it was like 2 layers of comforter and then the feather bed. And that was perfect. So I said, of course, with Jimmy, we'd have to get a second comforter. And to be honest with you, I don't have a second comforter. We got rid of that black one was our comforter. And we've switched just to quilts because we find the quilts much more effective for what we want. Because we can layer 2 quilts without them being as heavy and bulky as a comforter. And we can store them off season easier. And that's what we pretty much just use. So we were getting rid of this comforter. So when he saw the sleeping bag come up on the sale, it was such a great price. I think it was $39.99, and it was originally $89.99, like half price. And I mean, I think we had to get a green one or a blue. Like, we had to get a weird color because that's the color, like, the color was on sale. I don't care. It's for Jim and I to lay in whatever color. Hey, if it's orange, we could put kidney cancer stickers on it. We'll be good to go. But anyway, so it's stuff like that has come up. Dave and Sissy had a fire pit tarp. Dave and Sissy have a fire pit tarp? I think it was Dave and Sissy. Basically, there is this blanket, and it folds up really, really small for camping. That is a fireproof blanket, a mat. Actually, it's not a blanket. It has reflective strips around 4 sides so that at night you can not trip over the thing and fall into your fire pit. It's got the holes so that you can stake it in the ground and everything too, but it's heat resistant. It's fireproof. So whether or not you have your fire pit or your barbecue or your hibachi grill on it, it keeps the area from being from setting on fire. So you won't set if a spark shoots out, if a cinder shoots out, it will land on the mat and not in the woods. So, and that was $20. And I was like, it's on sale for $20. It's originally only $35. So it's like what was it? 30% off, 40% off or something. And I was like, but I think it's totally worth $20. And I was like, and I kind of, as far as the camping is concerned, I feel a lot like Alton Brown does in his in his kitchen. I don't like unitaskers. Like, the only unitasker that Alton Brown has in his kitchen is the fire extinguisher. Basically, every gadget, every piece of equipment he has to have multiple uses. I feel the same way. I have very, very limited amounts of specific things. Now, my mother-in-law's got tons of them. So, I mean, I'll just use hers. It's no big deal. But I like multitaskers. And when I saw this, I said, well, we're not going to initially take our fireplace. However, I told you guys about when you keep the tailgate up on the minivan, and you can do stadium seating there. And, even when it's raining, you can put the tarp up and you protect it from the rain, blah, blah, blah. I said, this would be great on the floor. It would be great on the floor at the end of the tailgate. It would be under the tailgate, but still, if mud splashed or water splashed on it, mud got on it, we wouldn't have to take that mud into the van. We could take our shoes off on it and climb in the van, because then, real close to the van, it would still be super clean. We can fold it mud side in and wash it when we get home. I said, this is not even just for fire pits, in my opinion. Because it's a fire blanket, it's weighted. So a lot of times you'll get a beach blanket or a tarp, and a good wind can pull up the corners, even if you have them staked down. But this is weighted, and when you stake down something that's weighted, it's even betterly. It's even betterly weighted. I gotta stop talking. I'm done for the day. I'm just very excited about. Mom was really excited about it. I guess that's what the whole point of this whole story was. When we had our little family meeting, Mom seemed to really, she's like, oh, I can do this, and then where would I put that, and how would this, and I can't have anything above my windows. And I said, no, if we're caravanning to a place, we have the whole back of our van to keep stuff. Now, as far as the setup and takedown is concerned, she's like, well, I would get that mattress, but it's hard to roll up. And I was like, no, we'll set up the bed before we leave the house, and then you won't take it back down. She's like, well, where would I keep my stuff? I was like, in our van, because we'll have a fold-up bed if you have, or your front seat. Or maybe you can get a bed that just folds in half instead of rolling up. We just fold it over, and now you have this whole half for storage. This is what people do. And I told her I'd start sending her videos so she can have an idea of what people do. I actually joked about it because she was talking about being older and single and alone. She would like to go with people. And I was like, well, first of all, I wouldn't let you go anywhere by yourself unless you totally were going someplace you knew and you were very comfortable and you felt like you were in a good state, which isn't very often these days, just between you and me. But I said I would send, if you were driving to Arizona, say for the winter, I would send Jim with you and then fly Jim home, and that's what I would do. Because we also talked about the possibility of us moving to upstate New York and her becoming a snowbird. And I said, originally we said, you buy a small, small house in a small senior community where they watch your house because most people there are snowbirds, and they watch your house while you're away in the summertime, and you don't have to really worry about it too much. And then we were talking about where she would want to live. It's sort of expensive, and I was like, well, you don't have to live there. You can visit there every day because you'll still have your car and everything. Then the other thing I said to her is, or if you decide that you love living in your car, you can live in your car. She still has family there. You wanna stay in a house for a weekend? Go stay with your family. You wanna have your own space but stay with your family? You park outside your aunt's house or whatever, your cousin's house, your sister-in-law's house, whoever's house it is. So I just was saying, like, I was giving her all these options. I was like, you can visit with them all night, and instead of going up to your guest room, you can go out to your car and sleep, and whatever she decides to do, if she likes it. Now, again, talking about putting the cart before the horse, she's planning like 7 years in the future, and I'm saying, like, let's try it for a night. But everybody has their own thought of what's the cart before the horse. But anyway, mom's ideas are, mom thinks, the way mom plans, let's put it that way, that's what I'm saying. The way mom plans is, mom says, I would rather put money into the savings account every time I have extra money and then buy all the stuff at once. I said, I appreciate that for you. I won't do that for a couple of reasons. I'm allergic to cash, which is not news. This is not news. Every time I have money in my savings account for more than 60 days, something happens. Jim had a car accident and I had a huge deductible. We had a huge doctor's bill. We had to have temporary housing, like just something, like the engine went on the car, like just something would always happen. For me, it's much better to use the credit version of, it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. Like, I feel like that's the truth. I said, but Mom, here's what I'm doing. I'm not just buying them like, oh, we could use this, we could use this. No, I'm saying something we thought we would be able to use is on sale, super sale. And I said, that's the only reason I'm buying it. Otherwise, it's just sitting in the shopping list. So she's like, oh, I didn't realize. She's like, I saw like little packages. I said, yeah, because the Dave and Sissy deals, you can't buy anything with a Dave and Sissy deal, and you can't buy more than one Dave and Sissy deal at a time. And all I mean is that it's got a coupon code, so you can't, if you want to buy 3 things on that day's deals, you can't buy them all at the same time. You have to buy them 3 separate purchases. And I was like, and I hate that because I hate wasting boxes. Every time they offer, would you like this to come at a later date? It'll be in less boxes, and I don't need it right away. I just say, yeah, wait, because I don't want 27 boxes out in the world. No. Even though Amazon has a good box thing, we could fill it up with stuff you don't want, and they'll just take it and donate it and that kind of thing. But that's beside the point. I said, but for me, I have that whole, how much will it cost me when I go to need it kind of mentality. If I don't buy it when it's on sale, I'll look at it and I'll say, I could have had this for like $12 if I would have just bought it at the time, And here's the thing, nothing's open. I buy these things and they stay in their boxes. We open them to look at them, make sure they're not broken, and put them back in their boxes. If it comes where we don't feel like we need this, I could just sell it, return it, give it back, give it away. So that's another thing to think about. We were looking into buying something that we thought was an incredibly great deal yesterday, but we weren't sure if we were going to use it. But it was such a great deal. And I said, let me just tell you something. If they would let me, this is such a great deal, I'd buy 10 of them and just sell them. Like, I would sell them out to my neighbors and go to, like, Marketplace and say, hey, who needs one of these? But they only let you buy one. So, stuff like that. I was like, I don't care. I don't have a problem with selling. I'll go on Marketplace and say brand new in box, bought it, used it, whatever. Perfect example was I found a water pump, a USB water pump. I think I showed it to you guys, or told you about it. Basically, it goes on the mouth of a 5-gallon bottle like you get at Walmart. They come 3 gallons, 5 gallons, the same mouth. And it goes on there, and you charge it USB, and it's like an automatic water dispenser, and pump basically pulls the water up from the bottom of the bottles. You don't have to tilt the bottles. And you can get these, and they're so much cheaper than buying 1 gallon at a time. A, they're refillable, so no waste. B, and they're super cheap to refill, not just at Walmart, but like where I live, they actually have a drive-up water and ice thing, like you just drive up. Where Sharon lives, they have the drive-up. And Sharon lives in Florida, they have a drive-up. I don't think hers is water fillable, but I think it's just ice. But you could drive up with your 5 gallon bottle, you put it under, and they fill 5 gallons, you know. Anyhow. So what I tried to tell her is that the certain things that I think we could use by other people's suggestions of they felt like they need these things, I'm going to try to DIY them. And this will give me content for my channel. Plus, it'll save me money. Plus, I'll have something to do to make me feel like I'm being productive without creating more stuff to decorate my house. Don't worry, I'll still be doing that too. And the other thing is, if it turns out to not be something that we need, I've only have wasted $2.50 as opposed to $12, $25, whatever, to figure out that I didn't need it. Excuse me. So, that being said, I'm done for now because I think this is like a 45-minute long video, and I hate 45-minute long videos for me. Maybe I'll break it up. Maybe I'll make it 2 videos. Maybe I'll say hello and goodbye again. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Part 2 of it. This is part 2 of Jeri Can't Stop Talking because she's had too much caffeine today. No, I'm kidding. I'm just in a good mood. I'm trying to actually stay positive till I hear from Mom that Jim's made it through okay. So, but anyhow, I love you. Thank you for listening to me babble. I hope I've inserted the pictures that I promised you I would, because sometimes it floats on the brain, fog floats away as the skies clear up. The thought goes with the brain, you know? I love you. If nobody's told you, let me fix this here before I say it. I love you, and if nobody's told you today that you're loved, you can always come by and hear how much I love you. I do appreciate each and every one of you.